like anime. I like all the same shit you, but you can still choose to become a person about people.
Okay, this is Dr. Hood. We back with another one, H19D. Go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. Hit the bell for notifications. Let's go.
So, like I said, I am excited about getting mic'd up and get out in the real world. Because that's where you're going to separate the men from the boys. That's where you're going to show. It's not just about saying what a high value man is. It is about proving a man who has means, who other men view as a peer or a potential peer, a man who is on a consistent path for a period of time, a man who has a network. And if you want to build a network, you're going to have some sort of game. And there's a difference between game and interpersonal communications. I've heard this being bantered that sales is game. It's not. Sales is not game. Interpersonal communications is not game. Game is different. Millions of dollars of sales training in me. It's not the same. But anyway, network, visibility, and being useful to other people and the group. See, when you go out in the world, it's game time. And gentlemen, if you want to be able to interact and have the most options you got to look the part, sure, but you also have to behave the part, be the part. If you want to, because a lot of times guys are complaining about the kind and caliber of women you're dating or dealing with, well, increase who you are out there. But back on task, the Latina problem. Hot sauce. She knows what Lowry's is. I mean, you've been to the bodega? I love Mexican Coca-Cola and, churros. Hey, man. Brothers are learning how to eat Mexican food, Peruvian, Brazilian. Look.
They are.
Look. Sisters, I'm telling you, you better start listening to your Latina friends and start winning because, it's real in the field.
Right. They got a lot of culture, They spend a lot of time in the household teaching those ladies how to be women, how to cater to a man. A man's going to look at that as an asset. All this other stuff really doesn't matter to a man that's got his shit together and he's considered high value. So you got to understand, if you want the top, you got to be the top.
All right, get these likes up, man. Get this super chat up too, because I'm gonna open it up. We're gonna just do some Q&A tonight. I didn't want to miss last night's broadcast, but we're not gonna, we got to get that over a certain dollar value though, because we got a few people in here who's like, hey, it's Saturday night, come on now. Cause I got other stuff that we could be doing. All right, and we've had some technical difficulties, so let me get back on task. The Latina problem. Ladies, value and vice. Men of value are in demand. I said it before. You ladies think the pool is 100 feet long and 8 feet deep, and it's really 1 inch deep.
Right. So if you on your shit and you doing it right there, you shouldn't settle. That's the bottom line. You should hold out. Be disciplined. You can lose your value by being non-disciplined and thirsty.
When I'm out at Brickell or I was out at Bell Harbor earlier today, and when you out there at Ball Harbor earlier today, I wish I could take my camera out there and film real time, but my security was not with me earlier today. So, and you got to be safe when you're out here doing stuff like this. And, you also want to be respectful of these properties, and you don't want to just, go and, how do I say, you don't want to cause too much of a ruckus or a commotion. But you'll be amazed at what you start to see once you get out of your comfort zone. Ladies, many of you ladies expect men that you want to be convenient. And this is why you're losing. Because the women who want the kind of men you want understand they got to do the work, and then they got to get out there and be amongst them. How often do you hear women talking about, I don't know where the men are, or this or that, or you keep complaining about the same men? Well, you got to get out and be around the kind of men you want. But here's the problem. Modern women don't like rejection. Most women don't want to risk rejection. And the fact of the matter is, most of you know that the kind of men you want don't want you.
Oh, wait.
That's the truth. A lot of women don't want to risk rejection, so instead they say the men aren't there. No, the men are there. The men are there. And the thing is, how are we going to show that the men are there? Well, 2022, we're going to take a lot of people.
They're there. They're doing a lot of work. But they're not just going to settle for anything. That's the thing, you know. Men know what used goods are. And no matter how much Victoria's Secret the woman wants to put on, and you know what I'm saying, she wants to make it seem like she's more valuable than she really is, men know. And when they got options, they use them.
Trips. We're going to start taking a lot of... In 2022, we're going to start taking a lot of field trips. We're going to start taking a whole hell of a lot of field trips. Yeah. Field trips, ladies. So if I say, hey, Godfather, coming down to Houston, I'm down in Houston kicking it with, folks down there. What the excuse gonna be? Right. Men of value have options. Ladies, your biggest problem is your vice. Sign language, shame, insults, guilt, the need to be right. Not getting your therapy. When I sat here and talked to women this week, one of the biggest things I noticed is I had more women starting to understand that modern women have little to no empathy for men, and the level of contempt most of you walk around with for men today. I asked the question of women the other day. What's great about men? I asked a group of 4 women, what's great about men? What do men do that's great? And the answer was, these 4 women, one said, knowledge, and we're romantic. But then she had to retract that one. The other one said religion, man-made religion. But she really had a problem with religion because it was control. And then after religion, she said atoms. The atoms, you know. Electron, proton, neutron, atoms. Yeah, atoms. What did this one say? I forgot what she said. Basically, and after I asked, I said, and basically the question was men knowledge, information, but what was a tricky part is modern women think of men in terms of them. That's why I kind of hammered home. I'm like, y'all don't think men are human. You'll see it. And I said, the way in which you describe men, would you want your brothers to be described like this? Do you want your sons to be described like this? Dude, not plain stupid. It's the fact of the matter is, I don't want to tip too much of it. Ladies, it's not a problem with the lack of men. Modern women have become so entitled, so arrogant, so privileged.
So that they think they're right about every damn thing. There's nothing more irritating than a modern woman acting like she knows everything and that she's never wrong.
That they honestly think that men should have to prove themselves to her, when ladies, you gotta prove yourself to the kind of man you want, because the men are the value. We validate you. And why is this important? If you live in Oklahoma City, if you live in Idaho, if you live in the Midwest, that may not resonate as well until you go into Manhattan, until you go into Beverly Hills, until you go into Buckhead, until you go into Miami. Then you will quickly see the separation between people. There's not enough. There is, when you're seeing these suicide doors and these, Shirley ain't rolling out of these cars. Shirley ain't rolling out of these cars. Just not. But you know what? I'm gonna open up the call line because I'm trying something new. Thank you guys for riding with me, even with the few issues we've had tonight. I'll be back doing this again, but I'm gonna drop the StreamYard link. I'm gonna drop the StreamYard link because I want to hear what ladies have to say about the modern dating scene. That's really what I want to hear, what ladies have to say about what's going on. Because you will be surprised, guys, how different women really look at the dating scene. Women look at the dating scene and they see something completely different than we do. They see a world to where they are oppressed. They see a world to where men are the problem. I promise you they do. And I would tell you that the only way to get beyond all this is to start being able to have conversations with different kinds of women. Why is that important? Well, it's important because if you haven't developed the kind of skills necessary to actually interact with women in the real world, what are you going to do when we get out in the field where the work is real? I'm serious. I am serious about this field work. I am dead ass serious about it. See, I used to love going out to the club with my friends. Go watch the 5 Heartbeats. You know, when you go out with your buddy, somebody has to be the wingman. Godfather's gonna be your wingman. I'm gonna be your wingman. I'm gonna get you styled and looking good, smelling good, and I'm gonna be your wingman. I'll be in your city, and I'm gonna let you pick the women, and you step to them, talk to them. You're gonna see how it's done. Then you gonna go. We're gonna get out, and you're not gonna use my name and my position to do anything. You're gonna do it. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna have experiences and create memories, because something like this, when done right, can be life-changing for a young man or for a woman. A young lady, but see, when I go out with a woman that's going to be different. You'll see what it's like to go out and experience something that you may have never experienced before. But going out in public, that'll be a little different. And I still got to understand how I'm going to do that. And there will be a chaperone too. I'm not going out with just one of y'all one-on-one. Nope. Mike Pence rule in effect. I am not going to get jacked up. You got to be on camera. You got to be on camera. I got to see you on camera. You must be on camera. Who is it? Who's trolling? So yeah, why so many fact checks? Yeah. Yeah, you would. Yeah, no. Hold on. Wait a minute. Who got something to say? Hold on. Put the comment up there. I don't see this comment. Oh, well then why don't you go ahead and call it Woo Chili. Woo Chili, the most egotistical, arrogant brother on. That's easy to say that. If you got something to say, bring it on. But see, guys, understand something. Women who come along and say things like that are adept at sign language. and they grew up and they lived in a world to where all they had to do was call names. All they had to do was call names. They can't prove anything. All they got to do is say, "I don't like what you have to say." Where's your husband at? I mean, you know she's not gonna call in. You know she's not gonna call in. You see, when a man has standards, it's called being egotistical and arrogant. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're not winning at life, but it's not my fault. You can think about how many women are angry today just because men are asking for what? Think about what you're asking for, guys. And like I said, like I'm talking to women, when men ask for something, it's misogynistic or egotistical. When women ask for it, they're being powerful and strong. You got to do better than that. But of course, you know, she paid $9.99 to lob an insult, but that just shows you the value proposition. She knew that in order to get some, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. Well, go ahead and call in. Go ahead and call in. She won't do it. Because what's she gonna say? I just don't like the fact. What's the problem? Well, you just act like that. What? Act like what? Men have a standard. Gentlemen, have a standard. The best thing you can do is have a standard. And I'm gonna tell you, the best thing men of value do is to put barriers between them and women like her. That's the best thing you can do. There is a reason that private clubs exist, like up and down Miami Beach, up on these yachts and everything else. There's a reason that these kind of things exist, because a lot of men don't even want to be bothered by women like her. They just stand outside barking and mad. Why? Because they can't get what it is they want. And why can't you get it? Because you don't qualify. Women like her are angry at the fact that you or I have the nerve to tell her you ain't good enough. You're not good enough. Now, when the women will talk about they don't want no scrubs and this and that was no problem. It says women call in. So if you're not a woman, if you're in the call line, if you're in the queue, go ahead and bounce back out. Because if I block you, you'll stay blocked. And if your photo's not up, please bounce. See? Lou Casely, what's going on? Now, that's another thing. They get upset because the conversation has changed. See, there are people who cannot. There are people who just can't deal with the fact that the world. Right. Chili's still damn near 60. See, ladies, I want you to also focus on something too. Women over 35 who are single tend to be where the issues happen. Why is that? Well, even at age 30, a lot of women seem to understand that, you know, they still feel close enough. But over 35, yeah, they dislike me so bad, but why? Why do they dislike it? Why is it? It's because they can't do the shit that they used to do 2 years ago. It's been called out. People see it. Bria, you need to either turn your camera on or you gotta bounce. Because if I ban you, you're gonna be bounced. Okay. I want you guys to understand this. For having standards, you get called arrogant. Think about it. But for having standards, they call themselves bosses. And this is a big problem in our community in particular. Why? Because 80% of us were raised by women. So in the Black community, women feel like they own us because they're our mothers, our teachers, our nanas, or this or that. Yeah, I'm gonna keep calling out so young brothers don't get tricked. I'm not gonna just keep calling out. I'm gonna show it to them. I'm gonna take young men out to the field and show. I'm gonna take young men out to the field and show it to them so they can see it for themselves. I'm just like that. You know what inspired me to do something like this? One, because you got to continue to push the envelope. Number one. Number two, remember when I used to talk about that BuzzFeed article? That young brother dressed up for a week and did the same things on week 8, on week 1 as he did on week 2. And he dressed one way and he dressed another way and he got treated 180 degrees different. But even though he got better treatment when he dressed more appropriately, he didn't feel right. And I want to show brothers how to actually dress to be the best version of yourselves. Number one, and then number two, how to feel right doing it. Look, a lot of brothers don't want to dress a certain way because they don't feel. You weren't made. I'm talking to the young men. You didn't get enough validation as a young Black man. Your manhood wasn't validated. And one of the big problems with a lot of women today, and this is where Maria, Marisol, and Anastasia win, is they know how to validate men and feed their ego. Black men in general, Black men in particular, your egos are starving, and our women do not know how to feed our egos. That's why you got this fool talking about somebody is arrogant. They don't want you to have shit. They don't want to give you compliments. They don't want to tell you something because you may get too full of yourself. Women like her feel like they always got to keep their foot on your neck to keep you in your place. When I sat here and talked to these women, that's what it came down to. We're the queen. We're the queen. The queen is the king's chick. And the contempt that so many women have for men today. Gentlemen, do not have these women in your area. Don't argue with them. Leave them alone. I'm going to use her to make content, but I want you to avoid women like her, period. I want them to be nowhere around you. I want you to live in a gated community with high walls and security. I want your life to be free of women like that. But the problem is, the more successful, the better you become, the more you're going to draw them to you. Understand something. Hold on, let me do this real quick. Hello. And now she popped herself in. Now why would you get, now she popped in here. Why is that important? Because understand something. I want you to understand how far the line is between normal healthy treatment and Black men. I want you to think about this, young Black men, young men in general, Black men in particular. I want you to think about the last time you received an honest, genuine, heartfelt compliment from a Black woman. Not a backhanded compliment. Ooh, look at you. Where you going to church? You got a job? I mean, when's the last time you had a sister walk up to you and say, heartfelt, genuine, good faith compliment?
Damn, we're gonna leave it right there. This is Dr. Hood. It's getting good, man. Hit the like and subscribe button. That's a question you guys need to go home and ask yourself. Ask the people that you with, and analyze all of that. Anyway, we out of here. We'll see y'all on the next one.